So a lot of the writing of the new stuff was happening while I was on the road, still on tour with the previous record. I suppose that the very first sketches came out from a little residency that I was doing in Ghent in Belgium.
In memory of one's childhood, they've opened up an exhibition. Such lovely hands. How often do you play? You have made my life complete. Internet.
And it was also the first time that I was playing around with the mini-log that I just purchased. And that was when I came up with the beginning of Sympathize. And it just somehow in my mind sounded like sort of like a weird mixture of disco and stuff that Austria does.
Sympathize with us, because our causes are just. Sympathize with us, all your corners you must.
And I just thought, oh, that's something new. At least for me it was something new, so I was kind of excited.
Sympathize with us.
And then sort of it was just still like rehearsing in our rehearsal space and sort of trying stuff for quite a long time until we actually went to Italy. We were in the countryside in Palazzo Stabile. Nice. Sounds really big. And I think even when we were already recording, there were some things that were not really fixed. This is recording. Semi-quaver. Maybe that was a semi-quaver.
Did you find out the tempo, Mary?
135. I'm just checking the sound effect. Feel no shame. Filled with pride. And after those 2 weeks were done, it was still far from being finished. I remember going back to Berlin and thinking, oh my god, I have no idea how to continue working on it now.
I think what would be maybe cool if we choose a few moments and pieces we really like already from the field recording, and then we slice them already, and then we use those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
select a
what would you
few
think?
ones.
Yes.
Selecting a few good ones and maybe with a pitch.
This with the pitch is cool.
More musical.
Yeah.
And then we did some shows with your government.
Sympathize with us, because the corpses are nice.
And I did a tour on my own in the US, and then I came back, and then there were more shows in Europe, and then there was Australia and New Zealand, and then we went on tour with your government in the US and Canada.
Let me tell you about our journey so far. On day 3 of this tour, we fired our sound engineer. That's a fun story to tell.
So there were a bunch of shows that were pretty weird.
I was born out
stranger and a stranger I will die.
And on the very first night in New York, Mutt sort of twisted his ankle. And the second drum kit was a toy drum kit. It was really tiny. Of course, the car broke down twice. So we had 3 different vehicles. How do you like the new car? It's amazing. But yeah, the US is definitely a very big challenge.
It would be a shame if we don't manage to make the piano work. We'll just skip it that for now.
Then we took the unfinished recordings from Italy with a bunch of other recordings and collaborations and took all of that to Margate in the UK to work with Mike Lindsay from Tongue.
Sympathize with us, because our corpses are nice.
And then I came back to Berlin and it still wasn't done.
I really just want to finish soon.
And then there was still some shows. There was a show at the opera where we met Yukari, the violin player who ended up playing on the record. And thank you. And then the virus happened. And there was still like some sending back and forth of files with a mastering engineer, and it was just taking forever. But there was at that point no rush anymore because everything stopped. So now the recordings were still not completely finished, but there was the sense of like losing the structure. Around spring, when the recordings were more or less finished but still kind of not perfectly crisp, there was a lot of talking with labels, and by summer I had already decided that I wanted to work with the label that sort of seemed most interested and like we're talking in detail, and then they realized that they can't afford it anymore. It's like everything is pulling you down and there's nothing you can do. But then it's not only you, it's everyone. And there was some sort of sense of collective sort of, you're all in it together. And it sucks and it's terrible, but at least you know that it's all of humanity. and there's some consolation in it.